I want to work with cool people doing cool things. You know, everywhere I've been, it's just been that same path. I tell people all the time, I'm like, imagine you're trying to hire your 23-year-old kid to come work in your agency. They've never had to buy insurance from themselves. They don't even know anything about insurance. So you can get that person up to speed in 30 to 45 days, which is unheard of. Marketing is everything. Providing good customer experience, answering the phone when people call. Those are all marketing.
Welcome into today's episode of Connected Conversations in Insurance. My name is Ray Huang. I am your host today, and with me is our former host of Connected Conversations, Nick Berry. Nick used to be Canopy Connect's demand gen manager, and he has since moved on to better and more awesome things over at Total CSR, where he's leading marketing over there. But I thought this would be a great opportunity to bring him back because despite us both being sort of co-hosts for this podcast in the first two seasons, we were actually never on the show together because we kind of split duties, and that's kind of how we ran that podcast. So it's great to have you on. Thanks for joining us, Nick.
Thanks for thinking of me.
I can't get you out of my head. What can I say?
I kind of do that to people.
You haunt me. And also, you haunt my workflows and trying to figure out what happened when I try to figure out what happened to all these things. But that's a topic for another day. But I think I'm sure our dozens and dozens of listeners are curious, like, hey, whatever happened to Nick? Like all of a sudden Ray got a new co-host with Carrie, who has been doing a great job. And Nick, you did an awesome job hosting this as well. So I appreciate you doing that and helping us get started on our little podcast journey. But what happened to Nick since? What you been up to?
Well, last summer I was talking to a couple friends of mine who have a little company everybody might know of, Total CSR, and they reached out and they were really struggling to try and figure out the next step for them with their marketing component of their business. And we had a really interesting conversation, and something like I wasn't looking for a job, and it was just kind of a, hey, do you want to come be our head of marketing? And I was like, well, I think I'd have to wait for Ray to leave to get this opportunity here. And I don't think Ray's going anywhere. And it's like totally, I've known Justin and Jordan, the co-founders of Total CSR, since they launched, and I've really liked what they do. And that's kind of been my career goal is I want to work with cool people doing cool things. You know, everywhere I've been, it's just been that same path. And the opportunity came up, and I was like, despite loving everything I was doing at Canopy and love the things that Canopy Connect is doing, I was like, I got to do what's right for my career sometimes too. So yeah, here I am, head of marketing at Total CSR. And being a single person marketer is fun.
No, been there, buddy. Been there.
Yeah. I remember when I came into Canopy, it was you and Elizabeth, and just the two, and then three of us. And I was like, and even then it was just the three of us trying to get everything done. And now it's like, oh, I got to do everything again by myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just how it works sometimes.
Yeah, and you realize all the other stuff that comes along with it, which is fun and exciting, but also like, God, you just have to do everything. And I'm sure like I don't know, agency owners, most of you guys are listening here, like you guys deal with the same thing, right? You were, they were a good producer, and they saw the light. Hey, maybe I can do this on my own. They go off on their own. You're like, oh crap! Now I need to run a business, and I got to like manage people if I haven't done that yet, and do my taxes.
Yeah,
keep the lights on, buy software, do all these things that used to just be handed to me. I think that's really interesting, and maybe a real quick segue into what you guys do at Total CSR is like, now what? What do I do?
Right.
What do I do now? I've got to hire. I got to hire an office manager. I got to hire other producers. I got to hire CSRs. I've never done that before. So
yeah, it's literally the product, and that's one of the reasons I really like what Total CSR does, is because it kind of takes Justin and Jordan were scratching their own itch of, they realized the training that was out there wasn't filling the gap of getting people where they needed to be able to run a desk. So it was, they was, okay, what do we need? What can we build internally? And that's kind of where they started. And then they're like, oh, we should sell this. And so it's evolved over like 7 years to this massive product where agencies can find people, can make sure that they say they know what they say they do, through assessing them through not just personality assessments and not just the I don't even remember that. I don't remember all the name of those weird personality tests and things, but not just personality testing and not just skills testing, but I was like, do they know insurance? And if they don't, cool, here's the training to get you through personal lines, commercial lines, health and benefits training. Because there's a lot of untapped talent out there, that, especially young talent, that has no idea about insurance. I imagine, I tell people all the time, I'm like, imagine you're trying to hire your 23-year-old kid to come work in your agency. They've never had to buy insurance from themselves. They don't even have rent. They might have renter's insurance and an auto policy at Geico, but they've never had so they don't even know anything about insurance. So you can get that person up to speed in 30 to 45 days, which is unheard of, or was unheard of prior to this kind of training come available. And then all kinds of fun things like license tracking and like microlearning we launched that was my first project. I came into the company, I was like, by the way, we're launching a new product.
That's always fun.
That's never been seen in the industry before. Here you go. Good luck.
Yeah. No, microlearning is kind of where it's at these days. It's funny, previous to Canopy Connect and my other role, I worked at a micro-credentialing company where they were doing like professional development for teachers, but it was all this like micro-credential based, like, hey, let's just learn these very specific competencies. They can kind of stack up and work together towards something bigger. And is that how your microlearning sort of setup is?
So the way we approached it is we use it as not necessarily training them, but helping them retain that knowledge. Because one thing that everybody knows is, especially in insurance, all these super complex, especially commercial lines, if you don't use it all the time, it just goes away. Like literally the learning curve exists. And we know, like, this is even without microlearning. If you go and you do something, you don't reuse it time and time again for months, it's gone. So that was our first 3 lines we did, was all commercial lines, because it was the stuff that agents aren't touching all the time and producers and CSRs aren't touching. So it's more of a, hey, we're going to get you through and we're going to get you trained. And then, oh yeah, you people who've been here for years, you can also go into this and also help touch up and keep things up to speed that you need to know. And that's how we've approached it, with microlearnings and fun games. Like I use it every day. It's a phone app, and there's a little golf game. I do it so I can play the golf game every day.
Is that the reward? Or
well,
is it?
So you got that's one of the you get points for doing the game, and you get extra points if you get it like when you answer the question right. So
Gotcha.
It's that or like playing stupid phone games. I'm like, oh, I'll just go keep up with commercial insurance training.
Yeah.
And play golf at the same time. Yeah. So that's the big thing, I think, is, as you train people, how are you going to keep that knowledge fresh, especially if it's something that they don't use, like inland marine or something weird like that they don't necessarily do it all the time.
If your insurance agency staff is still spending hours a day on manual data entry, you aren't just losing time, you're losing money. The modern agency isn't built on paperwork, it's built on automation. Canopy Connect is the industry-leading platform that automates your insurance intake. From personal lines to complex commercial loss run summaries, Canopy Connect pulls verified data from 400 carriers instantly. It integrates seamlessly with the tools you already use like PL Rating or EasyLinks, so your team can focus on what they do best, selling and building relationships. It's time to level up your workflow. Go to usecanopy.com/intake or click the button below and discover why the top performing agencies in the country trust Canopy Connect to power their growth. Faster quotes, better data, more wins. That is Canopy Connect, the complete insurance intake platform.
So what kind of other, outside of the sort of microlearning stuff, but as far as right, getting that new staff member up to speed, obviously that you go beyond CSRs, even though that's in your name. What kind of pathways, I guess, do you have?
So basically the agency can go in and go, okay, what lines of business do we focus on and specialize in, and put them into a learning path for that person or program. So if you're a heavy personalized agency, we've got all the personal line stuff. If you're a commercial lines agency that specializes in trucking, you can go, okay, they need to learn inland marine and commercial auto and those things. Oh, we're a work comp agent, a specialization, would go in and set that learning path there. And then not necessarily just your CSRs and account managers, but also you can put your entire staff through our assessment tools. So you can go, okay, everybody should get tested every 6 months just to make sure of the lines of business we do, you are up to snuff. And that's the thing where I think a lot of agencies miss a lot of people, they still treat training like cybersecurity training. Like when we had to go through, like Vanta's cybersecurity training. You're like, click the buttons, get me through this as fast as I can. A lot of businesses treat training like that, and we were like, okay, no, we gotta like actually train people, like get them, and find ways. A lot of businesses will like, hey, here's a PDF, here's some video, here's a video listing, go watch videos or whatever, and then they go, okay, you're trained. There's no testing that like this. So we've got all those components of, we're going to test you along the way just to help you to reinforce all that stuff. And that's the big thing. I think a lot of agencies miss the boat on of training is, okay, are you checking where your staff is right today?
Is it all asynchronous, like video and text based, and then
there's video and text and yep.
Is there a live component to it either? I know some people learn better with like, I need a teacher.
Yeah, no, it's all pretty much online learning platform.
And then are those like CE eligible? Depending
on the state, I think we're at 45 states now.
Okay.
I don't know the 5 we're not, but like we have a list on the website. there's like I know Minnesota's one, and there's a couple others, like 5 states that we're not CE accredited in. And they're just really tough states to get into, I guess.
Interesting. So what are some of the, I don't know, like bigger challenges, I guess, that you hear from maybe the agency owners that feel like, oh my God, I need this, or like where they feel some resistance to providing this as a resource to their teams?
A lot of people just they have trauma from school. So you get a lot of resistance of like, people who come in like, oh, I'm experienced. I don't need to do this. I'm like, yeah, but we all need to like stay up to like, especially if you're a licensed professional. Yeah, your CEs, like going and taking your ethics CE is important, but also knowing the coverages and inside and out and being able to be the expert. And I think the thing a lot of agents want to talk about is being that trusted advisor. Well, if you're not literally the expert on the coverages you're talking about, how can you be the trusted advisor to your clients and prospects? So I think it's like, that's the biggest thing is, oh, I'm licensed. I'm like, well, you're licensed, but when was the last time you actually were tested on that knowledge?
Yeah. And I mean, it kind of reminds me of like sports, right? You're a former baseball guy, right? Just because you're good and initially capable, like even the pros practice and do batting practice and do spring training and do all those things because they need to stay sharp, even if they are playing the game
absolutely.
the rest of the year.
Yep.
Right?
Well, it's a good analogy is I golfed. I played baseball my entire youth into post high school. And then I also played golf, and I love golf. I love golf almost as much as I loved baseball. But when my dad passed away 10 years ago, I just that was his and I thing. And I just kind of like, oh, I'm not going to golf anymore because that's what we did together. And then last year, I was like, I got invited to go play in a tournament. I'm like, I haven't picked up a golf club in literally 8 years. And I was okay, but I was rusty, and it was a rough round. And then this year I was like, I'm going to start golfing again. So I've been trying and going, but I've only been going out either to a range or to the local course like once a week. And even the other day, I had some extra time before school pickup, and I was like, I'm going to go hit a bucket of balls. And I only brought my irons with me. I literally shanked every single large 100 balls, every one. And I'm like, I need more practice. Once a week isn't going to cut it. Yeah. Same thing. Like the coverage, if we're not talking about it, it goes like the knowledge just fades.
Yeah.
Or you're like, oh, I don't know. Let me get back to you on that, which doesn't always present a line of trust to the people you're talking to.
And I'll say this as also a casual golfer, like I get out 4 or 5 times a year to like play around, and I might go to the range here and there. And it's like, for me, it's just enough that I never get better. Like I'm right there, just under 100. I'm like, if that on a good day.
I live in Iowa, so we don't have the greatest golf season, the longest golf season. So I'm like, I looked at my wife. When we don't use our garage, it's a big storage thing. I looked at my wife and I was like, can I put a simulator in the garage? I was like, think about all the money I save about not having to go to the range.
You're onto something there, man.
Yeah, here, go spend $3,500 instead of spending $11 a bucket of balls.
I think you can make a very rational business case for this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I pare it back and don't get the absolute greatest home simulator package, I probably could do it.
So we're going to do this little game I've put together for you. This first one is this one's the primer. This one's like figure out which Liberty Mutual logo is the correct logo. Can you spot the difference?
The flame and the one on the left, I think.
Is correct or is incorrect?
Yeah, I think the one on the left is correct.
That is correct. Yeah. I reversed the flame on the other side. That was a little fun. That was your warm-up round.
Oh, jeez.
Let me see. How do I get this here? Next. Okay. The real game is whose mustache is this? So these are insurance. We'll call them insurance personalities that you should know. Whose mustache is this? Let's see if you can guess it.
Landry Fields.
No, I'll give you another guess. This is someone you might see on the television versus your friends.
Oh.
These are not former podcast guests. Although I could see the
people.
Yeah, I could see that being
he's got that
Fields, though. Shout out Landry.
I thought it was okay. So not people I know, but people I should know.
Although they also have spectacular mustaches. I think this industry is ripe with them. Beards and
man. I've got no idea.
All right.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Give you a hint. It may or may not be related to this.
Oh, it's the Liberty Mutual guy.
That's right. That's Doug. All right. I thought that would be the easy one, but
yeah, I mean, yeah, if I use my brain.
We'll see if we can get this one. That's a solid stash.
That is a solid mustache. I'm thinking is the farmer's guy?
It's not the farmer's guy. It is Dr. Rick
Oh,
from the progressive
yes. Yeah.
how to not be like your parents.
Be your parents. Yeah.
I really love those commercials though. Because I am often like that. Not quite to the extremes that they show, but like, you know.
Oh no. Yeah.
There's
I definitely
truth in
catch
this,
myself.
you know? All right. I love this guy.
Caveman.
Yeah, caveman. That's hopefully an easy one. They get harder because your pool of people is getting smaller. This guy doesn't quite have a mustache. A little stubble.
Is it the chaos guy?
It is.
From
It is. Mayhem.
It is.
Mayhem.
Yeah,
they call
Mayhem.
him.
Yeah.
I like. What do you think of those commercials? The Mayhem.
I love them. As I think they're
I'm your
over the
teenage
top.
daughter texting on the
Yes.
phone. Like,
Yes, I think they're. As a person who runs ads, I love them.
all right. This one will be a little harder to get. I will say this person is an actual a celebrity. That'll be your hint.
I saw the face, and I was like, my first was like,
plays a jingle. Sings the jingle.
trying to think of insurance jingles. People like famous. I have no idea. Bruce Springsteen. Oh, well, State Farm on your side, but I have no idea who that is.
I'll say he's usually in commercials with a Manning brother.
Oh God, it was. Oh my gosh, my brain just went dead. I know who it is, and as soon as I see it, I'm gonna be mad.
All right, Brad Paisley.
Yeah. Yep.
Brad
I was
Paisley.
thinking. Yeah. Yep.
All right, let's see what else we got. I put this deck together a while ago. This guy's got no mustache, but
Oh, that's the progressive guy.
yeah, Jamie from Progressive.
Yep.
Which is like, this is terrifying. This
Yeah.
But
I
close
recognize
up,
that smile. Yeah.
terrifying,
Yeah.
but recognizable for sure. Okay, this is I think
This is
your
our
last
farmer's
one.
guy.
Yes,
Yeah,
this is your farmer's guy. No
I can't remember his
mustache
name.
here, but
Nope.
we do famously
have
know
one.
him with this mustache.
Yep. From
Right?
Spider-Man. Yep.
J. Jonah Jameson. I forget what his name is in the actual farmer's commercial. It's like Professor Nathaniel something.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the end of my game.
That might be the best podcast game I've ever.
4 out of 7. That's not terrible.
I wouldn't have passed a CE class.
That's right. That's right. Fail. You can add that into your Total CSR module.
I failed my advertising CE.
Picture this. You got a hot lead on the phone. They're ready for a quote. But then comes the dreaded question. Can you find your current declarations page and send it to me? Well, suddenly, the momentum stops. You have to go digging to look for it. You have to wait. And that easy quote becomes a chore. It doesn't have to be this way. Canopy Connect turns that 30-minute scavenger hunt into a 10-second digital handshake. Your client just clicks your link, signs into their current carrier, and boom, you have everything you need to provide an accurate, competitive quote. It's bank level secure, SOC 2 compliant, and frankly, it makes you look like a tech savvy genius. Give your prospects the modern experience they expect. Join the thousands of insurance agencies leading the pack with Canopy Connect. Visit usecanopy.com/intake and see the difference for yourself, or just click below to find out. Canopy Connect. Insurance intake simplified.
Again, appreciate you coming on. Give us a quick update of what you've been up to, and where you've been going, I thought maybe we can change gears again. You are a InsurTech marketing guy. You've been at a few insurance agency oriented vendors, I guess, because you've done less non-tech stuff for them. And you've been at Canopy Connect, and I've been here at a bunch of different InsurTech, FinTech startups throughout the years. So I thought maybe we have a little powwow about what we're seeing and what we're doing in the marketing world for these folks, and kind of what resonates and what are, because you and I have had these conversations where it's like, okay, what is it that like is resonating with insurance agents? How are we kind of getting their attention? Top of funnel stuff, right? Like, how do we get their attention? How do we get our brand in front of them? What are the things you're doing right now? What do you that is you're trying to do top of funnel? You and I are, we're both kind of ad driven. So
really, I mean, it's similar to the work I was doing at Canopy, where I think a lot of businesses, they spend a lot of time and energy on brand related advertising, where it's, hey, here's who we are. We're going to talk about us. That's where a lot of businesses really fail with their advertising strategy, where it's less like, we need to talk about, and if you want to get somebody's attention and you want to get somebody to come and see what you're doing, it's talk about the outcomes, talk about, don't look like an ad in the feed with your advertising. Don't look like an ad in the ads. Like, even my search ads aren't, hey, Total CSR is the greatest training company in the universe. I think I should use that. But like, talk about the outcomes for the person you want to come in and talk to you, less talking about yourself and running brand ads, which are important and do have a place in an advertising strategy. But if anybody ever looks at my ad library of the companies I work at, when I'm running ads, they don't look like the ads other companies run. And part of it's intentional. Part of it's also, I don't have a marketing degree. I went to school for engineering. I learned advertising through trial and error, and okay, what's working and what's not. What was working a year ago isn't working right now. I had a really weird ad that I love. I sent a text to my CEO because he gets my ad emails. And I'm like, you're going to see an ad email come through. It was like 1 a.m. because you know me, that's when my brain works the best sometimes.
Yeah.
I scheduled the text to go out at like 7:30 in the morning. I'm like, hey, you're going to see an ad come in. Just trust me. Just trust me.
So what was it? I got to know.
It was beavers or fish. That was the
yes,
literally.
I remember this one.
And it was, so it's a Reddit trope where someone claims back in the like 18th century that the trappers in Quebec asked the Catholic bishop if they could have beavers and other water rodents during Lent, because back then you couldn't have fish or you couldn't have meat at all during Lent, not just on Fridays. And so the story goes, yes, they said beavers or fish, for Lent, for the purpose of Lent. So my angle on that was, I'm going to stop you right. And it did. It had an amazing click-through rate.
If I recall, that was like a hot pink background image. Because I remember I texted you when I saw it. I was like,
I got so many texts.
I was, Nick, what the heck?
But the angle I take, and I think I implemented this at Canopy even, is we're going to run creative that's not necessarily the creative, the image and video itself isn't the ad, but it's going to stop you, and we're going to write long form content in the ad. So you're going to stop, you're going to go, oh, what is this? You're going to scroll back up, you're going to click that read more button, and you're going to read 6 paragraphs. That's what I put in. Like, I test, and I've been testing it for a year now. Like, even at Canopy, I was testing it. It works better than everything else. The short form, like the ad doesn't do the selling. The copy does. And even the copy was like, yes, you read that right. Beavers or fish. I don't remember what the exact copy was, but it went into why we're talking about this. Like, hey, this is what one person told us. here's the reality was that I think the rest of the copy of like, so we went, it tied it back into what we were trying to accomplish. Great clicks, booked a bunch of demos, worked the way I needed it to. So those kind of ads are like, I have one and it's a pink background, white text. I think the ad is, if you're still training by job shadowing, you might as well teach them how to use a fax machine too. Just absurdity sometimes just works, and just not necessarily like my favorite. And I used to share internally to Canopy, everybody, like all the absurd, like unhinged things other brands are doing. Like my favorite brands are the unhinged brands, like Scrub Daddy. Oh my, their ads and their social in the Owl, the translator app.
Duolingo.
Yes. Their creative team is like, I'm like, man, that would be such a fun creative team to work on with that kind of unhinged content that got signed off in a large corporation.
Yeah.
But that's the things. A lot of businesses will spend a lot of money in advertising. And like I said, brand has a place, brand awareness has a place, but your advertising needs to not look like an ad in the feed. It needs, like, I'm a big proponent. I tell everybody, if you're struggling to make some memes.
Oh, I love the memes.
Memes. We tested them. I have some memes active, and creative has gotten much easier. I remember when I first got into advertising, I had to work with a designer in Photoshop because I wasn't learning. I'm not learning Photoshop. Like, I do almost everything in Canva. If I need something complex, I rely on some freelancers and things like that. But Canva makes it incredibly easy to make images, and I'm gonna get a lot of crap from anybody else in marketing. Dude, ChatGPT can knock out something quick for you.
Yeah.
If you need something quick and you're not a creative person, you just need an ads. And this is more talking to the insurance agency owners and not just necessarily the other insurtech vendors and things. But if you don't have a creative person, the tools are really, really easy anymore for that stuff. It just take some time and have some fun. Like, if you can make your brand fun, people will pay attention, in addition to the other normal things you need to do in your marketing.
Yeah. And I'll say this for insurance agents thinking about doing ads or anything like that. It's almost better for it to not be polished, right? Like, you leave the polished stuff to like Liberty Mutual and State Farm. Like, they've got a $1 bajillion budget for all this. You're not going to be able to touch that. Like, do something that feels authentic, or ultimately you gotta stop the scroll. That's measure one. That's beavers or fish, and then give them something of value. So I think a lot of agents will do this, right? You guys probably have a blog and you've got a handful of posts that are like, what to do if you have your toilet overflows, or you get flooding in your basement, or like, like you talk about some of these things. And that's the kind of stuff that I think you should be sharing in your ads, not, hey, do you need a quote? Hey, do you need a
say 15%
insurance review? Yeah. Like, if they need that, like, yeah, they'll reach out to you. But if you're out there and especially I'm thinking like local in your community, you can do some like Facebook, you can do geo targeting, just do your neighborhood or whatever whatever your scope is, and just do those and be the one that's offering value all the time, whether that's like industry updates or just like tips. When a hurricane's coming, start giving, like, paying to distribute your message about how to prepare your house for the impending hurricane. And people will watch it, people will share it. Like, the ads component is for Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever you're using. Just basically guaranteeing distribution of your message. So if you think of it that way, it just makes sense to do it, and not necessarily trying to sit there and like, oh, I need to say this because I need to get people to start a quote with me. Like, if you play the long game, like, they'll come around, they'll see your message. And you can sprinkle in a couple of those ads that are very like direct. You want to get that. But most of the time you want to be just delivering value. And it's hard to get your head around because it's, most insurance agents are natively salespeople and you're trying to get a result and then you're trying to get that result right now. But it, especially if in a local or geographically constrained place, like you're going to be in business for years. So you have to treat it like that kind of investment.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was thinking like what you're just talking about. I was like, this is what I do as an insurance agent. If I had a blog article, hurricane safety, hurricane preparedness, make a little checklist, put it on that page, and put a little email box under it, and offer to email, or even the ad is, hey, download our hurricane checklist, and it's everything you would need to do, and even maybe some resources locally, links to the other resources. Download a hurricane checklist, safety checklist, or a preparedness checklist. And you can literally like generate leads that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the most, like, I talk to agents all the time. They're like, hey, Nick, teach me about marketing. I'm like, the advertising is the easiest part of advertising. It's following up with leads who don't want to talk to you.
That's true.
I wear like 9 different hats now. When I was at Canopy, I was like, I had to run like advertising, and I like took over marketing operations just because I needed it to work for my ads to work right. But like, now it's like marketing, advertising is a part of marketing. Email is marketing. Writing content is marketing. Being active on social media is marketing. Being active in your community is marketing. All of those things. Same thing for the businesses. Like I talk to other vendors all the time. Like I was just at Accelerate and talking to other vendors. They're like, hey, how do you do all this stuff? I'm like, well, I'm obsessed with this. This is what I eat, sleep, and breathe. I said, but I love the people we work with. I want to provide value to them, and I want them to know about the company that I work for. So I just figure out what works best for our company and our customers. And I talk to like, that's it. that's it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to, if you don't get marketing, you need to hire somebody who does.
I hate to say this, like it's not rocket science. We can make marketing as complicated as you want. But at the end of the day, it's also not that hard, which like sometimes pains us because like everyone thinks that they can do marketing, and to an extent, everyone can at a baseline level because it's a lot of it's common sense. There's I think a big component of it that can get technical and all that, but like we don't need to, you don't need to overthink it either, and you can get it going, especially if you're not doing much right now, which a lot of agencies, I think smaller agencies at least, aren't. They could do so much more with not a ton of lift, even if it's not your expertise.
I've been saying it since I moved from the sales side of a business to marketing. Marketing is everything. Literally everything you do positive in your business, even negative, even the negative things is not a good marketing, but like providing good customer experience, answering the phone when people call, responding to emails, being present in your community or in your industry. Those are all marketing. That's it.
Yeah. Keep it simple, right?
That's my next t-shirt. Marketing is everything.
Awesome. Nick, I really appreciate you joining me back on the podcast. It's good to have you back on here. I know you won't be a stranger because we're always kind of talking back and forth, and you've always got plenty of perspective and hot takes, which I love. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me back. Again, Nick, where can people find you? You do a lot of things for a lot of people, including Total CSR. So I'll give you an opportunity to kind of pitch your pitch.
LinkedIn is probably the easiest place to connect to me. It's the only well, I don't like LinkedIn, but it's the only platform I actually tolerate anymore, business-wise. So Nick Berry on LinkedIn, that's probably the best way to find me.
Gotcha. All right, man. Well, thanks for joining me again. And join us next time for the next episode, and keep on keeping on.
Collecting insurance information sucks for everybody. Long forms and even longer phone calls are frustrating for prospects. And still, you're left wondering if what they told you was accurate. Now, there's Canopy Connect. Simply send your prospect a link, they select their carrier, and sign in. That's it. In seconds, you'll get deck pages, policy information, claims history, and much more. Canopy Connect, the insurance data intake platform.